For the rest of this half hour, we want to share the stories of some great organizations that are serving others who are really struggling right now during this health crisis. Some of these groups have been helping for decades. Others have just gotten started as a result of the coronavirus crisis. And in either case, they all need your help right now. Let's start with the Grassroots group right here in the D.C. region. They just got going in March as a small way to give back to the healthcare heroes on the front line. Our Sue Palkas talked with the people behind Feed Suburban Heroes.
I am so excited to introduce you to 3 Montgomery County residents who are making such a huge difference for our frontline healthcare workers. They started a movement at the grassroots level, and it's called Feed the Frontline, and they are Heidi Gertner, Claire Milam, and Adam Isaacson. Thank you all for joining us virtually via Zoom. We are very excited to tell your story. And Heidi, I'm going to start with you because you are the one who had this idea to feed healthcare workers, but it started out small and has turned into now over 3,500 meals provided by the end of this week. So tell us how this all started.
Sure. Thanks for having us. It started one Saturday at the end of March where I was sitting on my couch feeling really down in the dumps about the coronavirus and the kids being out of school and people getting sick and dying. And I thought it would be a nice idea to send some food into Suburban Hospital, a local hospital, which is about a mile from my house, to see if I could support the folks who are taking care of people getting sick from the virus. And so I called the hospital and asked if I could send in 30 pizzas the next day for lunch. And they said, sure. And so I arranged it, and it cost about $340. And so I put a post up on our neighborhood Facebook page. It's called the East Bethesda neighborhood. And Claire and Adam live here with me. And then I asked folks if they wanted to contribute, and said if they did, and I got more than about $300 or so, I would get another meal for the hospital workers. And amazingly enough, within like a day or so, we had almost $5,000 that people had so generously and kindly given. And Adam and Claire had both offered to help out with picking restaurants and arranging the meals to be sent. And so we formed a little team, and we've been working together ever since.
And I understand, first of all, that's amazing. It started so small. I wouldn't even think to call the hospital to see if you could send pizzas in. But from that small idea, which has turned into such a big thing that is helping so many people, what I want to know is how did Claire and Adam contribute? So, Claire, let me start with you. Did you know Heidi before this?
No, I didn't know Heidi, and I didn't know Adam, so that's been a real added benefit. I wanted to jump in because I'm a former small restaurant owner as well, and I know how challenging it is for the restaurants, locally owned restaurants on the front lines of this whole pandemic. And so I really wanted to help them and also help the workers who are providing so much care to us. One of the stories that we've heard is from a family member of a patient who was at Suburban. And he reached out to us and he said, oh, I'd love to contribute because I don't know how else to say thank you to the workers that have been helping my family. So we've been touched by so many different stories and so many different people wanting to support our effort. And it's been really wonderful. And the restaurants are really happy to be able to participate as well.
Well, Adam, talk to me about this, because you guys are really doing 2 beautiful gifts to your community. In addition to feeding the frontline workers, you are also buying these meals from local restaurants. So tell me how that is coordinated and how many restaurants, for example, you're using, because we know they also are desperately in need of this help, and the takeout has got to be such a gift to them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was fortunate enough, obviously, to get involved with this, and somehow Claire and I kind of took on the role of ordering from the restaurants, and we all live in downtown Bethesda, so we frequent these restaurants a lot, and the idea of these restaurants struggling and having a tough time obviously struck a chord with us. So so Claire and I essentially go through the list. We made a huge list of all the restaurants and in this area, and then people started making suggestions, and we just went one by one and would call them and told them what we're doing. Number one, they were so thankful that we were doing this. And it was actually nice to sort of talk to these people on a personal level who own these restaurants and understand their struggle and what they're going through. And, you know, this was just one order that we're giving them, but they were so incredibly grateful. A lot of them then offered, which I couldn't believe, to offer discounts on the meals themselves, which I kind of thought was incredible. Just that they were struggling, yet they knew we were trying to do something great for the hospitals and they wanted to participate as well. So it was really just a sort of our minds coming together and putting together a list and dialing and placing orders.
You know, it's amazing what can happen, right? When total strangers come together, all with one mission to help. Pretty incredible. And you can help by visiting feedsuburbanheroes.com.